Hey guys, we've been gone a while.
It was 2020. You know how it is.
It's 2021 now, though, right? So things should be better, right?
The images are no less shocking even with the passing of time. New videos now emerged of the chaos and the violence. The mob turning on police and spraying them with mace. This officer was trapped, pinned by a metal door and screaming for help that didn't come. Anger at Donald Trump, accused of inciting this, is growing all the time. Twitter, his megaphone of choice, has permanently suspended his account, a move which is causing even greater divisions.
The problem you've got now is that by banning him...
Hey, I'm Kevin,
And I'm Pete.
and this
And
is
this is a Zenny
Zenny
Saved.
Saved. How you doing, guys? We're back with another episode. We got a lot of stuff we want to talk about, right? Since we've been gone so long. Pete, let's get into it. What do we got for today?
First off, let's talk about part of what we do here. Let's talk about some sales that are going on. We love ourselves some good sales, and right now the Nintendo eShop has tons of games on sale.
Yes.
Many quality games. The first one that you pointed out to me, Katamari Rerolled. Tell me about it.
Last night I was just like, let's see what's on the Switch store. So checked it out. Katamari Reroll is down to $9.59. List price $30. I had to get it. The original game in 2004, I think, came out for 20, right? Because nobody knew what it was. No, and they printed like 3 copies, right? And I had to hound the nearest GameStop for a week and a half before they got a copy for me, right? Because they get like 1, 2 at a time.
I remember doing that
$20 in
myself.
2004, right? So then they re-released it, $30. I'm like, I'm not paying $30 for a game I bought for $20 15 years ago. So like, it was on sale for 10. I was like, oh, my friend told me it was on sale for 20. And I was like, okay, I can do 20. And then I checked it even better, $9.59. How do you say no?
I mean, that's an amazing price. I think that's
I bought it immediately. I smashed the A button. Just,
so.
and
So how does it play 15 years later?
oh, it's like slipping into a warm bath. It's just everything you didn't know you needed. It's glorious. It's just HD Katamari. What else is there to say?
Does it still have the mission where you gather up a bunch of crabs? Beautiful. Absolutely.
Make cancer. Word choice. I mean, I know what you're talking about, but it's rough.
Astrological signs and all. So it's nice to know that it's like going back home. So
Yeah.
and what's the frame rate on that? Are we talking 30 frames, 60 frames? What are we
I
talking?
don't know. Probably 30. I didn't check.
You didn't
I'll
check.
make it back to you.
You were there for the gameplay.
I'm just here for the rolling.
You're here for twin sticks.
And that sweet noise every time you grab something.
That is really
And
satisfying.
I'm gonna roll you, and I'm gonna roll you. Yes, that's what I'm here for. I'm here for the doits.
My favorite part of Katamari is when you couldn't roll something up and then you came back later.
Yes.
And then if it was a grown person, you're like, oh, I can't pick you up. Okay, hold on. And you come back later and you just like, blah.
You're mine now.
So
that game just distilled progression down to its essence.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're too small to pick this thing up. Come back later. And you come back and you just roll it up and you're just like, yeah, that thing I couldn't get. Especially certain like living creatures that are like aggressive.
Yeah.
And then when you get big, they run away. Like some are aggressive, some ignore you. And then when they see you, when you're big enough, they like, and they run. That's satisfying, right? Like there's no escape. There is no escape.
That is beautiful, my friend.
So yeah, Katamari Damacy reroll. $9.59, get it before the sale ends. I think it ends on like 21st, the sale. So
all right, so that's a good deal.
So I have to put this episode up like immediately.
Oh, well, we hope. Up next, Nintendo has a bunch of first-party games on sale through their eShop, including what I consider to be one of the best deals all around, one of the most quality games from last year. The Clubhouse games, 51 classic board games, card games in one pack. It's got games like Sorry and Yahtzee. It has card games. It has dominoes. It has mahjong. There are literally tons of games here, and you can play it online or in person. And here's one of the cool things.
Price.
Normally it retails for $40. Right now it's on sale for $27.99. For me, this was already a full price yes. So for $28, you can't go wrong. And bonus feature, if you or your friend has a Switch but they don't have the game, they can download what is like basically a free version that connects to someone that has a paid version, so you can play all the different multiplayer games. Yeah.
Awesome.
That is so amazing. But at this price, everyone should have a copy. It's so good.
Nice.
I love the game. I love the look of everything. Everything's responsive. The touch screen controls are responsive. Playing it with a pro controller is responsive. Online's responsive. Everything is so good here. Yes, get Clubhouse games. Get it for this cheaper price. You can buy digital codes right now on Amazon and Best Buy for, again, the same price, $27.99. Don't gotta pay taxes, just saying.
Damn you, the man.
And this is the way to circumvent. But seriously, this is such a good deal. Everyone who has a Switch should have a copy of Clubhouse games. My personal favorite, Mancala. I loved Mancala since I was a kid, and it is just going back to that sound design thing we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
The sound of glass beads hitting like another one as you drop them, moving around the board, and then the same empty wood sound that it hits when you hit an empty spot. Oh, sublime. So good. Yes. Clubhouse games, $27.99.
Thanks.
Go get it.
Very nice. And I've got also got Dragon Ball Fighter Z or Fighters. I use both. I like Fighter Z, honestly. But that came out for full price on the Switch, and I already had the PS4 version, so I was like, and I just saw it on the store when I was looking for stuff, and it was down to $9.89 last night. So
$9.89
right
for the
now,
regular, $17.59 for the Ultimate Edition, which includes the Season 1 packs.
Yeah, and I wish I had bought the regular edition so fast. Like I saw the $10 basically, and was like, right, mash that A button. And then I'm looking through and I see the Ultimate Edition. I'm like, I just bought the regular edition already. I don't want to, literally buy it twice in the same system, or 8 more fighters. But if I had seen that, I would have gotten that, right? I didn't look. I wasn't thinking like a shopper, right? I was thinking like a buyer. I wasn't thinking like a shopper. I should have my shopper hat on. Then I would have been like, let's see if they got a bundle. But
So you're not going to triple dip, but you did double dip. Because like you said, you have the PS4 version.
Right.
As well as now the Switch version.
Yeah,
any
at
noticeable
a most reasonable
differences?
price.
Any noticeable differences in them?
I haven't had a chance to even play it yet. It was still downloading.
Okay,
I was up at like,
I can
midnight.
I can speak to that a little. So the resolution, the resolution on the Switch version is actually lower.
Yeah.
It's about 720p compared to the PS4's 1080p. But you still get 60 glorious frames per second.
Say no more.
And honestly, isn't that what we all want? Background.
I would take a resolution hit for 60 frames per second on a fighting game any day of the week.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
No
absolutely. Yeah, the backgrounds are a little muddy compared to the PS4. Truth be told, and but the character textures are just kind of good anyway. Everyone was cel shaded.
Right.
So.
And it's like, you're buying the Switch version, it's not as powerful as a PS4. You know this going in. You're buying it so you have it for the Switch. That's why you're buying it, right?
You're buying this so that you can not only play it on a TV, but you also have the convenience of portability.
Yeah.
Because
so
Lord knows,
somewhere.
Sony's not doing another portable system.
No. We're not even going to get into that tangent. But rest in peace, Vita.
We hardly knew you.
We're not even gonna get into that. People have recorded hours of YouTube footage talking about how they did the Vita dirty. We're not gonna derail another Zenny Saved on that. So
no, not today.
If you know, you know.
But
yeah, rest in peace.
I would say again, the Ultimate Edition, $17.89 or $17.59 for the full game plus the season pass.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. Especially when that's normally about $80, $90 worth of content. Yes. Do this.
Yeah.
Yes. Speaking of buying it for the portability, Immortals, Phoenix Rising.
Mm-hmm.
Or, thanks to the way it's spelled, Immortals, Phoenix Rising.
Phoenix.
Right now it's on sale for $39.99. And I'm confused. I'm massively confused because this is a game that was selling for $30 in the month before Christmas.
Yeah.
Even up to like last week, I saw it for $30 and now it's $40. No.
That'll pass.
Do not buy this game for $40, especially when you can get it for $30. That said, did you like Breath of the Wild?
Yeah.
Would you like more Breath of the Wild, but with a completely different map and you're fighting mythological creatures?
I don't know, maybe, yeah.
Would you like it if your weapons didn't break constantly?
Yes. God, yes.
Then Immortals Phoenix Rising is likely for you.
Most hated game mechanic.
Something that they didn't even include in the Age of Calamity Hyrule Warriors game is breakable weapons.
Thanks, oh lord. A Musu game with breakable weapons?
Can you imagine?
Throw it in the dumpster.
No.
Throw it in the trash.
Yeah. So, Immortals Phoenix Rising, fun game. The way the story is told is amazing. With Zeus and Prometheus being back and forth unreliable narrators, and things will change based on what they're saying. It's amazing. I absolutely
Really digging it?
I'm digging it. I'm digging it a lot. But am I $40 digging it? No. But again, this is one of those games where if you're getting it on the Switch, you're not getting really nice visuals. It is stylized though, so looks honestly, if you're playing the Switch version, it looks a lot like Breath of the Wild, which had very stylized visuals, which served it well because it ran consistently at 30 frames.
Yeah.
If you're playing it on the Switch, runs 30 frames. You're playing on the PS4 or the PS4 Pro, it runs at 30 frames. Only if you're playing it on the PS5 or a really high-end PC can you get 60 frames.
Yeah.
But again, those are really high-end, those are higher-end machines, and the visuals are not the most detailed to begin with.
Right.
So having another huge world to explore, things to do, challenges that run a lot like the trials from Hyrule Warriors, like the Sacred Temples and all that. Very fun, very cool, great game, not $40. So wait for another sale.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's coming, especially when it's got a season pass.
Mm-hmm.
We don't recommend full price games if they also have a season pass.
Yeah, on like day
Especially,
one.
yeah, a day one season pass. We don't like that.
We're not here for that.
So, moving on, Kevin, what did we play in 2020?
Oh, let's see. Let's keep it tight. Played Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us Part 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake, but you played that too, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Love the
But
Final
just-
Fantasy.
But if I had to pick, or if I had to just go over them real fast, like Final Fantasy VII Remake was dope. Like it surprised me in some ways, and the production values were just so impressive, and it was fun. Combat was tight. Although I have notes, they need to work on the aerial combat.
Oh yeah,
But,
agreed.
because you get into the air a lot. Like there's a lot of that in the game, and they don't build on it. They don't flourish on it. So they need to tighten up their air combat. I'm surprised they haven't updated it at all, because they were very aggressively updating Final Fantasy 15 systems and issues. But
That's true. That's true.
but you know, it is what it is. It's still great. I still love it. You'll love the things that you remember from the original that they've polished up, and then you'll enjoy the things that are new and stuff like the Honeybee Inn or the Honeybee Club, whatever it's called. Like all that stuff is just amazing. Like so, they've done a lot of fun new stuff. They've done some things with it, like the ending that were like, we'll see if that works in part 2 and on. Because they're twisting some things around, they're changing some things. Apparently, this is like based off of the compilation of Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's like straight up what they're doing is like this is off of compilation of Final Fantasy VII. So like this will be interesting to say the least. Like whatever they do, we don't know what they're gonna do. So that's cool.
I for one am very excited. I liked Final Fantasy VII Remake so much that I actually went and got the. They had a tie-in where you could get extra items if you bought certain candy bars. And
Yeah.
one, Fat Man likes candy. Two, Fat Man also likes having things like different bangles, so I can equip items earlier on and more materia right from the get-go. So yes, please. Having +5 agility early on, yes.
One thing I didn't like, speaking of materia, one thing I didn't like about the magic system was how your spells can be interrupted and still cost you the
Yeah.
AP or whatever.
Yeah, that's
And
annoying.
you have to rebuild your AP, or you just have to get the MP back.
Yeah.
Like you still spent points, but you didn't get to cast your attack. That shit drove me crazy, especially in the end game where the monsters are super aggressive.
Yeah,
And it's just
another
like-
thing that, another point to that, your AI teammates are dumb, and there is
Yeah,
no
a little
paradigm system.
Yeah.
There is no way to control how they attack.
I have
Unlike
to.
in Final Fantasy 15 or Kingdom Hearts or Final Fantasy 12 or anything.
Like it's
like,
fine
wow.
with like Barrett and Tifa who were offensive.
Go hit shit.
Yeah, go punch things and shoot them. But you have to babysit Aerith because he's the healer, pretty much, right? So
Yeah.
like, if you're not watching her and jumping in to use her to control her and do what you need her to do, she's gonna be slumped for
Yeah.
times.
You know, you never wanted to use Eris to attack with a stick
Right.
in the original game. You don't want her to do it this time, and yet she
Yeah.
just wants to be the best bow staff user of all
Like,
time.
I'm fighting. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, I need you to cast healing spells.
You are not Donatello, please.
So I do think they need to beef up the AI, or at least give us something resembling the Gambit system from Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah.
Like, it needs to be more robust, so you don't have to babysit your AI characters as much.
Yeah.
Because in the end game, it's fine up until like the end game.
Yeah.
The last
You're right.
couple bosses, it's a slog, man. Like, oh boy.
And not to mention all the extra bosses you can fight.
Unless you didn't put an extra 10 hours in over leveling,
Yeah.
which I didn't because I was done.
Because who has the time?
Yeah.
We had time then. We were children when 1997 came around.
Right?
In the year of our Lord 2020/2021, oh,
Yeah.
we have
No.
jobs and
Yeah.
kids and things.
Responsibilities.
Like, so,
Yeah.
you,
then,
you also played Last of Us Part 2.
I did.
How was
And
that?
there was a lot of controversy and a lot of yelling back and forth on the internet about this game. A lot of bad news and just, just negativity and zealotry around this game. People were acting crazy, like, and I played it. I'm like, for what? This is an okay game. This is a 6 out of 10 game. If I'm going by a number scale, Zenny Saved scale, I give it like a $30 out of 60, right? $30.
Yeah, it's right down the middle.
And like, the production values are exquisite. Let's not get it twisted though. Like the graphics and the performance, the acting, and the voice acting, and everything. Production is 10 out of 10, easy. Push that is like top of the line. They must have spent $100 million on this game, easy.
Yeah.
But the gameplay doesn't really push itself that much forward from 2013. And the story, which is like the source of all the controversy, is just like, it fell flat for me.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it doesn't do what it thinks it's doing. And it's trying to make a point, I guess, about the cycle of violence and the cycle of revenge and how, how senseless it is and how sad it is and how, all that. And they do that by putting you in the shoes of two different player characters, Ellie and her nemesis, I guess, Abby, which he's out to get. And it's fine. Like, the game is like at least 6 hours too long.
Yeah.
I feel like, and a lot of the problem is to do with the structure. To wrap this up real quick, like the game is structured. You play as Ellie for 3 days: day 1, day 2, day 3, and you get to the climax where she confronts Abby, or where Abby confronts her, and then before you do anything, before you can finish that, you go back and play as Abby. Day 1, day 2, day 3. So you go up the narrative arc, and then right when you're ready for that payoff, they knock you right back down. So playing as Abby feels like work. It's not interesting. I'm just trying to get through it. I just want it to be over. Because they now play as Abby so you can sympathize with Abby and understand her point of view. And it's like, yeah, okay, but blew all that narrative momentum out of your ass.
Yeah.
And I don't care because you just took away that narrative momentum. You just poke a needle in the balloon. Like, if you had done day 1 Ellie, day 1 Abby, day 2 Ellie, day 2 Abby, day 3 Ellie, day 3 Abby, and then final confrontation, that's a smooth arc. That's a good arc, right? That's good pacing, right? But the way they structured it, in layers, it didn't work. It didn't work. I don't think it did.
You know what that sort of makes me think of?
And then, hold that thought. And then there's another chapter right after that. There's another chapter right after that. Where, I guess, tie it up because they didn't tie it up properly. And then you still, Ellie still goes back to get revenge on Abby after, that confrontation that ended with them walking away with their lives. And then she tracks down Abby again in one more chapter. And you come up against a new faction that had nothing to do with the story up to this point.
Oh.
And you don't kill Abby. So what was the point of doing all that shit? Why? Why that extra chapter? The game is too long. The game is at least 6 hours too long, and they wasted all of their effort trying to make us sympathize with Abby because of poor structure. So the story kind of stinks. It's not terrible. It's production is good, right? It's not terrible. It's well acted, but the structure is messed up. It's all out of order. And there's all these flashbacks, and sadly, the flashbacks are some of the best parts where you're Ellie and Joel.
Yeah.
And it's I want to play more of this. But then that's ruined because of the way the flashbacks are structured within the present narrative. So it's just constant back and forth. So then you're trying to remember, okay, so I'm playing as Ellie, now I'm playing an Ellie flashback, and okay, now I'm playing as Abby, now I'm playing an Abby flashback but I'm playing as Abby from 3 days ago, and it's dude, you actually had people, I saw them on Twitter and shit talking about it, and they had people on the dry erase board, and they're figuring out what happens when, and I'm so you actually had more than one person figuring out how this should work, and this was your best? This is what you came up with?
No.
Because it doesn't work.
I mean,
I don't say it doesn't work. It works, but barely.
I'm going to say that this is typical of the director.
Yeah.
Because he also had those randomly inserted flashback scenes in Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
Where you're playing as Baby Drake all of a sudden for a little while. It's why are we doing this?
This doesn't move the story forward.
No.
I don't need this. You're oh, you need it for context, so you build up the relationship with him and his brother. Not really. I just need to know that he's his brother and they have a relationship. And Drake trusts him implicitly.
Yeah.
Because of his response. So that's enough. You don't need this extra chapter of BS.
The other thing this reminded me of in terms of pacing...
The second half of the game feels like work.
Yeah. Do you remember Beyond Two Souls?
Yeah. Oh, I played that. I was so hyped for that game after Heavy Rain.
You were. And I remember looking at you going, you are insane.
Because I love Heavy Rain. I know it gets a lot of shit now.
It rightfully so.
But it probably aged like milk. But at the time, it was oh man, it's so good.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Heavy Rain visually still looks amazing.
Yeah.
But I will always love the Jason meme.
Jason? Oh yeah. I wasn't
Jason!
tired about the memes. I wasn't. The memes are memes. We'll dunk on any game.
No, specifically in Beyond
There's
Two
not.
Souls, the way the game was originally structured, it was done in a non-linear format for the storytelling, which they said that they did it for a reason, but did not make that reason clear because it didn't help the story at all. And then, like, 2 months after the game released, they updated a patch where you could play it in linear fashion, from beginning to middle to end, the way a story clearly should progress. And I have to give the studio kudos for saying, okay, people hate the way we structured this game. We may have done this for whatever art-based purposes we have, tenuous, though that straight is at best.
Yeah. Is your director showing signs of auteurism? Talk to your doctor and your producer about the warning signs of auteurism. Does your director seem like he has his head up his ass and is throwing a bunch of shit at the wall? Is he making weird creative decisions for no other reason than he thinks it'll be cool?
I mean, I'm just saying, it seems like Naughty Dog should release a similar patch where the story is done day 1, day 1, day 2, day 2, day 3, day 3, wrap-up chapter.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like that would make things better.
Yeah, when you deflate all that narrative momentum and make it start back at the bottom, it makes the second half feel like work. Even if the gameplay mechanics are still the same and still tight and still, engaging for what they are, shoot, take cover, that kind of, Uncharted, Last of Us gameplay.
Piece together stuff to make more stuff.
Like, even if the gameplay still, on a technical level, is still good, it feels like work because that's what I've been doing for the last 10 hours.
Yeah, and you had hit the climax.
Yeah.
Duh.
And then you took it away and made me crawl my way back up to that point. And then I'm just trying to get to that point. Honestly, don't give a shit what's happening to anyone else in the game right now because I'm trying to just get back here.
Yeah.
That you pulled me out of. So dumb. Oh my god.
Well, on that note, for something that isn't dumb, tell us about Ghost of Tsushima.
Absolutely. That game was Game of the Year. Fuck Last of Us. Ghost of Tsushima is Game of the Year 2020. That game has so much drip. Like, it's just gorgeous. Like, the art direction is so good. And then all the attention to detail and the little touches and stuff. Like, you can write haikus. Like, come on. Like, it's ridiculous.
Wait. You can write haikus?
You can write haikus. Like, there's these spots on the map where it's, like, set up with, like, a little tatami mat and, like, some tea or whatever. And, like, a ink well and a brush, right? And you sit at the mat and and then you look at the environment and there's 3 points in the environment, right? And you look at one point and it has a line, it has a stanza, and another point, each point has a stanza, and you pick one, and then you go to the next, you look somewhere else in the environment, and then there's 3 more stanzas to pick from. And you pick your 3 stanzas from 3 separate scenes in the environment around you. Then he reads them, and it's great. Like, it's so cool.
Yeah. Do any of them end with it snowing on that Fuji?
No. But he's not in the mainland, so he wouldn't be on Mount Fuji's on Mall Island.
So other than having this open environment where you can write haikus, what happens in the Ghost of Tsushima?
Oh, you cut down tons of Mongolians and bandits. It's great. And I love it because you can play. It's kind of a slog in the beginning because you don't have any abilities. You're just like basic as fuck, and you have no armor. You have your sword, and like you have no stances or special gadgets or anything. So you're just like winging it. But you build as you build your skills and your items. It's so good. Like you get sticky bombs and kunai to throw, and all the firecrackers. There's distractions and all kinds of stuff. And so you can play as a ninja and like sneak in and around and stuff, or you can like just roll up to the joint and just like call them out. Like you can press the button on the D-pad to do a standoff. He's like, "Come out and fight," and then all the guys are like, "Who is this?" And they run out to the front, and then you just like you in a samurai standoff, and then they swing, and you let them swing and miss, and you do the one-hit kill, right? So they come in, and then at just the right moment you hit triangle, and he kills them one hit, right? And then you got to fight the rest of the guys though. But you can build up your standoff so you can do 3 in a row, and then there's a charm that you can attach to your armor where you can get 2 more one-shots. So you can get up to 5 one-shots in a single standoff. 5 one-shots in a single standoff. So I'm just like, you roll up, right? And then you wait for the guy to swing, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then if anyone else is still there, they might try to fight you. They might try to run away. It's great. So you have a flute. You can play. He plays his flute. You can do all kinds of stuff. Like they actually use the touchpad. So
wait, the touchpad serves a purpose?
The touchpad has different functions mapped to it. It's amazing. So
it's not just the map button.
Yeah. So you can swipe up to see which way you're supposed to go. The wind blows and shows you which way you're supposed to go.
Okay.
And you swipe, I forget which direction, it's left or right, and he plays his flute. You swipe down and he bows. So you can bow at shrines and stuff will happen, like animals or whatever will fly around you, or butterflies and stuff.
It's adorable.
Or fish will jump out of the water. Or you can bow to your slain enemies if you want. Doesn't do anything, but it's fun. Just cut a guy down and then
he died.
I can't bow properly in my seat,
Yeah, understood.
But it's great.
I like that you're describing this slashing action, and yet you opened with, you can write haiku.
Let me get to the best part first, right?
I gotta say,
beautiful.
You talking about this game made me go out and get it. And there's a PS5 upgrade for it. And,
yeah.
Oh my god.
The only thing better than Ghost of Tsushima is Ghost of Tsushima at 60 frames per second.
Yeah. It's so good.
Buttery smooth.
Such a good game. I have to say I'm enjoying my time with it.
Yeah. And it's easy to platinum, and it's easy to 100% because you don't have to collect every little thing to get 100%. There's other things that mark your progress that it's like, yeah, that's your progress. We're not gonna make you collect every little dinky thing in the game to get 100. And it's over at just the right time. The game does not overstay its welcome. You don't feel like you didn't get enough game. I don't know how they did it. That's like the hardest thing to do is make your game the right length, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, I played that. I'm glad I played that, and I'm satisfied, and I'm gonna keep playing it. And they put out a free multiplayer mode, which is really good. And
oh yeah, they did just drop that out of nowhere.
I think it was like September or something. They were just like, here's free multiplayer. I was like, what?
How would you even implement this? And then they did.
It's so good. And the animation, I'd say the in-game animation isn't as good as, say, Naughty Dog's, but it's still good.
Yeah, and it's Sucker Punch.
Yeah, and it's but the cutscenes and stuff are all done super well, and the photo mode is a blast because there's all kinds of settings and filters, whatever, and then the environment always looks amazing, no matter what time of day it is, no matter where you are on the map. It always looks great.
I love nighttime.
Yeah,
Stars, man, the stars.
moonlight and stuff. And you can set it so like the wind is blowing, and you can take short videos where like everything's frozen, but like the leaves and the grass and the wind blowing and stuff is still in motion. So it's like a motion card, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
They're really cool.
I would kill to use some of that as like to convert that to make a motion wallpaper.
Yeah. Oh, we can totally do that.
It's so
We can totally set that up. I'll just have to import those MP4s.
Yeah.
We're doing
I know. It's so good. Yeah. So, how much is it full price normally?
Well, it launched at 60. Totally worth the price of admission. It's probably come down in price. Let's look it up real quick. I don't know. We're gonna cut this out.
You can look up prices of things. Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima is $41.99 on Amazon.com.
Oh snap!
Down from City Dollar. We gotta double check Best Buy as well, just to make sure that that's in line. Ghosts of Tsushima. Yeah, no, it's on sale on Amazon, but not on Best Buy. So, regular price is $60.
Standard edition. I'm on the PlayStation website. Yeah. Okay. So I don't even know what it costs if you buy it from Sony Direct, because the damn thing is not. It's not.
Yeah, I can give it a shot.
Let me see if I turn the ad block on.
Store it up, PlayStation. What? No, I have ad blocks on. It works anyway.
Oh, mine's sometimes they're too powerful.
I mean, I understand.
I'm like, there's a whole piece of this page missing. Let me turn this.
It's taking a while to load up, but it'll be here.
Yeah, it looks like there's some buttons clearly missing. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I can't even see what it's going for on the PlayStation website. That's pretty bad.
It's going full. It's weird. It's not actually loading very well.
What's up with that?
I don't know. Maybe it's maybe they're doing some sort of. I mean, I hate the new online store for Sony. In system, quite nice.
Layout.
Online.
Yeah. Okay, so launch edition is $60 on the Sony website, PlayStation website.
Yeah, that's worth it.
But it's still worth it at full price. Like, it's such a good game.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was able to buy mine on sale. Not only was it on sale, but I actually had an extra $20 of Amazon credit. So I got mine for $20, and I am delighted. I got more than what I paid for. So.
Yeah, definitely.
So in terms of, games that helped us get through 2020, it's like we said, the Final Fantasy VII Remake was so good. And my question, I think one question that we didn't address is it a full price game? And
right.
I think that you and I may be divided on this. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
I
think we both agreed that it wasn't full price, but I think I rated it higher.
I think so. Because I would say that because there are so many moments where there's just a slog, and because the battle system has issues, but it's a beautiful game, and the story did things that I was very surprised by.
Yeah.
This is a game where they expected you to have already played Final Fantasy VII. They expected you to watch the Advent Children movie. They expect all.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that, and I'm not going to spoil it here. I could, but I won't. But they expect you to. And because of that, it actually does a great job at subverting expectations. So, for me, knowing that it's the first maybe hour, 2 hours of Final Fantasy VII strung out into a 40-hour game, but
6 hours. You can't make bigger that fast.
Oh, okay. We'll call it
6 hours.
6 hours strung out into a 40-hour
Right.
game.
And I know because I played Final Fantasy VII to get ready for remake.
Okay. All right.
It's the first time I 100% of the game.
Oh, wow.
Beat both weapons. You got all the materia.
Did you max out the copy materia and get the ability from the Midgar Slalom?
Okay, so 99.9%. I didn't max out the mine materia. Or the,
yeah.
What was it?
Yeah.
Ability. What's it called? You know the one. The yellow materia that lets you steal abilities.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, that
Enemy
one.
skill. Enemy skill.
Yeah, enemy skill. There's one you can learn from the Midgar Zalem, and it's annoying because you only get one chance to get it, and that thing is still so powerful early on in the game.
Yeah.
And if you don't get it, that's it. You just don't get it. It's the
I will
worst.
say, I used the enemy skill materia more than I ever have used it.
Yeah.
But I
and
didn't
that's the thing about Final Fantasy
sweat
VII
it.
Remake. Just so we're clear, the Midgar Zalem is something that you're going to find in Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. Because you don't even get there in Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Come back later. Closed for repairs.
Closed for... I think this is a very, very solid $30 game. You can buy the original Final Fantasy VII, you know, in digital format with plenty of upgrades to it, to kind of, you know, standards of living upgrades, things like fast forwarding through battles, auto healing after battles, things like that, which are nice to have. You can play the original Final Fantasy VII for anywhere from $10 to $20, depending on whether or not it's on sale. Final Fantasy VII Remake, I think, is a solid $30 game, and I bought it for $30, and I would highly recommend it for $30. But for $60, no, it's not a 60. It's not a full price. 50%,
Okay.
that's the sweet spot point. How about you?
I'd give it 40.
You'd give it the 66%?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd give it a strong 40.
Okay. So some other games that helped us get through 2020, Animal Crossing.
Yes.
Animal Crossing came out in March, right when we needed it. Being able to make your own island and be the boss of that island and do things like, you know, purchase clothes, visit your friends, setting up island visit parties so that a bunch of your friends can come over and hang out.
That was
In a
nice.
time where we couldn't see each other face to face, that was good. That was important.
That was really cool.
And then there were the unexpected things, like the stock market,
Yeah.
where people suddenly realized, oh my god, I can sell my turnips on other people's islands, and I can sell them for buku bucks and
Right.
become a billionaire.
Yeah.
Like, going through that, learning new recipes to make new things. I think being able to make items is one of the best additions to Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
You know, it's not so much a survival game, so much as this is your island, this is your character, play it however you want.
Yeah.
You know?
It's crazy going to other people's islands and seeing how wildly different they are from mine.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. Like, there's some...
Why did I think of that? Oh, why did I think of that?
I went to someone's island, and they made a modern-day Japanese city. And it had, like, road layouts where they made their own tile sets, so it looked like roads and sidewalks. And they had power lines and everything for everything
Yeah,
else.
some people's stuff is so
amazing.
custom.
Yeah.
They really put some time in.
love it. You know, there's a lot of creativity. This is a game where I think that you might agree with this. Full price, $60. You get a lot of game.
It's a lot of game, yeah.
And it at first it sort of drip feeds things to you because you have to catch a certain number of fish or bugs to get a museum.
Right.
Once you get a museum, you've got to get some more tools so you can explore your island further and then explore other people's islands. Honestly, it is such a calming game. It's very zen.
It's good to have some low stakes games in your diet.
Yeah.
Right.
Low stakes games where the point of the game is to just kind of relax.
Yeah.
And that, I think, a game that is the embodiment of taking a breath and just exhaling is what we needed in 2020. So for me, Animal Crossing is such a hugely important part of 2020. And I'm excited with the fact that every couple of months they always add new updates. There's new things to do.
They still support the game.
Yeah, they've continuously updated the game for the low price of free. And as you know, we're big fans of free 99. So again, Animal Crossing for the Nintendo Switch is perfect. Go get yourself some New Horizons if you haven't already. If you own a Switch but you don't own Animal Crossing, you are actually in one of the rare cases because Animal Crossing has outsold some of Nintendo's biggest high profile games.
Yeah.
Like it hasn't quite outsold Mario Kart, but it's getting there.
Right.
It's surpassed other Zelda titles. It's surpassed other Mario titles, and that's mind-blowing and fantastic.
It was the right game at the right time.
Absolutely. The other game that really helped me through 2020 that I just constantly go back and enjoy, outside of Overwatch, because I've been playing that since launch continuously. 6 years straight. Just about, yeah. That was back in I played the beta back in the day. I remember how scary Bastion was with a shield. But other than that, the other game that I've been playing, because it does get updated, it's a paid update, but it does get it, is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Because Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the theme has been everyone is here.
Yeah.
But there's sort of been a sub-theme with that as well. Yes, everyone is here, but also there's been a focus on rivals in the game. They added Ken for Reed, his OTR, his one true rival.
Right.
Sagat who? They added King K. Rool for Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong, which was exciting. Ridley was there for Samus. In addition with Dark Samus for those who are more fans of the Prime series, Dark Pit's there to fight Pit. Bowser's, Mario, they've actually sat there and said, we've got clear rivals here. Let's get them on the field.
Yeah.
And boy howdy, did Nintendo end 2020 with a huge addition to the rival roster. And possibly, I had said throughout last year, making predictions, that they gotta put it. They have to. If they're gonna add another Square Enix character, they gotta add the ultimate final boss. And they did.
Yeah.
They added Sephiroth to Super Smash Brothers. Looking at Fighters Pass 2, it's interesting because it started with Min Min from ARMS at the beginning of the year. And that was already kind of surprising because nobody really talks about ARMS.
Right.
Nobody really plays ARMS, but Min Min's like a decidedly fun character to play. Where they actually take into account, the A button is the left arm, B button's the right arm.
Yeah.
Play it like you would. It's really well done. you know, you've got it just the characters that they've been getting for these fighter passes continued to be mind-blowingly awesome. You know, we're talking about Steve from Minecraft.
Steve.
Minecraft
Everybody's jaw dropped for that one. It was just like, what?
No, like here's the thing. Like, everybody was like, what? But then when you realize Minecraft is the #1 selling video game of all time. Of all time.
Wow.
You sit there and go, oh. Yeah, no, we're talking about, you know, Nintendo talks about how it sells millions of Mario games. Sony's really proud of whenever they sell a few million of any particular title. There's like 80 million copies of Minecraft out there. On PC, on phone, on the Xbox, on the PlayStation, on the Switch, and on multiple generations of these consoles by these multiple people. There's a 3DS version of Minecraft. The point is, Minecraft is everywhere. And when you take into account, oh my god, that is literally the biggest game out there. And they included it. They made a fighter for Minecraft, which incorporates both mining and crafting to go with your fighting. Like, okay. Well done. I'm in. And then they add Sephiroth.
Yeah.
Who is just, he feels like a boss character. You feel like you're playing like a boss. It doesn't feel like you're over, like, if you know how to play a Sephiroth, you can win a fight. But it doesn't feel like it's unfair because it's Sephiroth. He's got insane reach. Unlike a lot of other Blade fighters where they make it so the tip of the blade does the most damage, for Sephiroth, the most amount of damage comes from the middle part of the blade. So the closer it is to his sheath, it does okay damage. Towards the end, it does heavy damage, but the tip, not so much. Not so much damage. Which is fair, because if the tip did the most damage, then people would stay away all the time.
Yeah, they play keep away all day.
Yeah. This forces you to get closer, and the thing is, Sephiroth can play keep away all day all he wants anyway. He's got 2 big projectile attacks.
Yeah.
One that you can charge up, which will launch characters at very early percentages. Oh, it's disgusting. It's truly disgusting. You know,
Good.
looking
He's so
at...
good because he's so bad.
He's so good because he's so bad. You know, the Fighters Pass 1 was $25. And I said, based on everybody that was on that, Joker from Persona 5, the hero from Dragon Quest, of which there's 4 different versions, including my favorite Dragon Quest 8's hero, Banjo and Kazooie, Terry Bogard from the Fatal Fury and King of Fighters series, and then Viola. Still worth it, because those are amazing characters. You know, when I heard that the second character pass was $30, but it has 6 characters, I was like, yeah, this is going to be worth it. No, this is 100% going to be worth it. Because I'm sure whatever characters come out, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
And sure enough, we're only halfway through the Fighters Pass. Min Min, perhaps an unexpected choice for ARMS, but she is the most popular character outside of the main character, Springman, or at least the most recognizable, I should say. She's the most popular when used online. So yeah, okay, and more importantly, the creator of ARMS likes her. So,
yeah.
All right. Minecraft being there, yes. Yes, okay, cool. And the skins you get for that are Steve and Alex and a zombie and an Enderman. Makes sense to me. And Sephiroth, who not only comes in a few various flavors of leather, but also comes shirtless. So you can reenact. Sephiroth being added to Smash Bros. Was such a big deal, they changed up Cloud Strife's Final Smash when you're playing in the Advent Children outfit to be Omnislash version .5.
Yeah.
Where all the swords come out and it was the way it looked in Advent Children?
Yeah.
Hell yes.
Very cool.
And what excites me about this is that I can still go online and I still have fun playing this game. Even if I lose, I still have fun. And the Fighter Pass is only halfway through. There's still 3 more characters to come. And at this point, I don't know who.
Yeah.
I don't know who's coming. But it's going to be great. I'm sure that I will be utterly delighted by whoever gets that. So for me, you know, as always, Smash Brothers Ultimate never goes on sale. Neither does the DLC. If you can, snatch it up. It's a full price title for me.
I have no incentive to discount that game.
Yeah, I mean now they've almost got 80 characters in the game.
Yeah.
It's so big. You can keep playing it. And I don't know if you've seen this. Have you seen any of the Nuzlocke runs of Smash Brothers?
No.
So in the one-player story mode for the game, people are doing Nuzlocke runs where if your character dies, you can no longer select that character. So you have to play every battle like it's the last one. And try not to lose them. You know, they've got all these crazy things where, like, wind is coming in and all that. And it's like, do I use my best character here or do I try to save him for later? It's super fun. I'm doing a Little Mac only run right now, where I can only choose Little Mac for every challenge. It's hilarious. So yeah, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Hands down, solid game. The DLC is solid. I'm loving it. Everyone should love it. You know, of all the games we listed here, these are the things that helped us get through 2020, which was an exceptionally difficult year for literally, I think, every single human being on the face of the planet. So, you know, some of these things you can find on sale. Some of these things, you know, you might find full price. Just know that if you do get it, you're getting an amazing time, no matter what game we just talked about. Now, speaking of full price, there is something that came out this past year that both you and I managed to procure. You were blessed by the Sony gods and deemed worthy at launch. Meanwhile, I had to struggle, and I got mine on December 28th. I did. No, I did. I scrapped like hell, in that I woke up at like 5 a.m. 3 days in a row to get on Target's app to be in the 2-minute window to pick up a PlayStation 5. Now you and I both have the disc-based version. The PS5, which is, of course, $100 more than the slimmer solid-state version. But what was your reason for getting the disc-based version?
Well, I don't want to be locked out of physical games, even though I do primarily download my games now because I like the convenience. But I don't want to be locked out of physical games because sometimes you can get a good game at a good price. That's not on the store for that price.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm gonna play Ultra 4K Blu-rays. Ultra HD.
You know, I didn't even think about the Blu-ray functionality.
Right.
When picking up the system. But now that you mention it, all of my Blu-rays all my DVDs would be utterly useless.
Yeah, you either have to hold on to another box to play them.
Yeah.
Or something. So, like, everybody's, you know, streaming, you know, internet, but, like, Netflix takes stuff away. Like,
yeah,
those streaming services take services. They take movies and shows down.
Yeah.
And if there's something I really like, I want to keep it. I want to have it.
Yeah.
You know? And so, like, especially all the Marvel stuff, which is like big. They're the big game in town right now. All their movies, and a lot of that stuff's either being taken down or it's going over to Disney Plus or whatever. And like I had Disney Plus for free for a year because they did some counter promotion. I was like, okay. But if I didn't, and I didn't for a long time, then all that stuff's just gone.
Yeah.
So if it's something I care about, I want it to have it so I can watch it when I want to. And if you don't own the disc, you don't own it.
That's right.
It's a little different with video games because you've downloaded it and saved it. You're not streaming the game. As long as it's like on your hard drive, ostensibly you can still use it.
Yeah, you're not streaming some games, although now there's more games that are coming out with streaming. A couple of big ones for the Switch, Resident Evil 3 and
yeah, that's interesting.
Control.
And that's an interesting, although it's a novel workaround for the Switch's power shortcomings, I guess. So they're doing streaming to play the beefier looking graphical games that aren't being down converted. That's smart,
And
if you have a Switch and you're looking over here at PS4, PS5, Xbox, and so on, and you're like, I want to play that game, but I don't want to shell out another $300-$400 for that system.
Yeah.
You have a solution.
Yeah. And speaking to the point of being able to find things cheaper, again, I got Immortals Phoenix Rising for $30 on the PlayStation 4. It comes with a free PlayStation 5 upgrade. I just gotta use the disc to keep it in the machine.
Right.
Okay. Cool. I got a brand new PlayStation 5 game for cheap.
Right. So the reason they're able to sell the PS5 digital for $100 less is because, and they're definitely losing more money on that than they are compared to the disc version. Is you're locked into the PlayStation Store ecosystem. You're locked into PSN.
Yep.
That's where you got to get your games, and they make more money off of it that way. And I'm not knocking that. That makes sense from a business standpoint. But as a consumer, weigh your options. Like, think about why you're doing what you're doing. As long as you're cool with it, go for it. As long as you've weighed the risks or the drawbacks, and you're okay with it, then yeah.
It's not consumer friendly.
No.
Being able to have options to go to different stores to say, okay, I can compare prices. I mean, even just earlier, we were comparing prices. Ghost of Tsushima on Best Buy is $60. You can get it on Amazon right now for $41.99.
Yeah.
I like being able to.
That's $20.
Yeah. $20 is a meal for you and another person.
Yeah. Or you, just if you're feeling hungry.
You know what? It's a meal for yourself for 2020. I get it. It's a 2020 meal.
Like, that's not nothing. So that's something to consider. And I understand some people are like, they think about it and they, I'm fine with it. Okay. But, and if you have if you're kind of person who's like, will wait for stuff to go on sale in the PlayStation Store, then you're good. Sometimes I want a game, if not day one, then in the first couple months. And it'll be on sale by then. It'll be down $10, $20. And, that's when I'll get it. But, if you're just one of those casual people who can just, I'll get it when it's cheap. I don't care how long it takes.
Yeah. But you know what else you can't do with the digital version? Borrow your friend's copy of the game.
Exactly. Yep.
And that, I'm sad that, Sony didn't do anything, snarky like that, like they did with the PlayStation 4 launch, where they're like, here's how you loan a game to another friend. And they just passed the disc to each other. I was like, oh.
They dunked on Microsoft so bad.
They dunked on them so they made that video. They made that video at midnight the night before.
Yeah.
And they were ready.
They were like, hey, we just got a camera real quick, and we're like, hey, let's do this.
And this is a clear enough wall for us to do this on. Green screen later, it's fine. Boom. And But, you know, this time, the disc-based version is where the most value is. You are paying $100 more to have that disc drive there. But if you want to save money in the long run, I mean, I also bought Assassin's Creed Valhalla for $30. So already
That
I've
game's not even
saved.
cold yet.
It's not even cold. I've saved 60 $60 because of the disc drive.
Yeah.
So, you know, to me that's already paying dividends. I will
Right.
be able to continue to save money. It's great. I love it.
Yeah.
When Devil May Cry 5 PlayStation 5 edition goes on sale again, that'll be great too. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes. I'm still getting a lot of fun out of that game. I beat it with Virgil, and I beat it with the main quest. And I'm still coming back to it. I was playing Legendary Dark Knight mode, and that's a lot of fun because there's so many enemies on the screen. It's like a Muso game.
Yeah.
And it's like a Warriors game where I was just like, you're just wailing on a ton of guys, and you rack up your combo meter so fast because there's so many guys on the screen at once. You can't help but get so many points so fast.
Oh,
It's great.
now,
And certain guys are tough when there's a bunch of them on screen at once. Like there's some of them, like those guys that are like really fast, those red dudes that like teleport and are super. They're so annoying, but it's fun as hell, and it's one of those games where I can just jump back into it and just play it if I want to play something, but I don't really know what game I want to play. But I feel like I should be playing a game. I can just go play Devil May Cry 5.
high definition, 60 frames.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so good, so good. But
It's the best Devil May Cry game. Like when it first came out, like
yeah,
I was blown away. Like it's the best one. Like they beat 3. I didn't think they'd ever do it. They beat Devil May Cry 3.
which is still for me a ridiculously high watermark. So I'm excited to sit down with 5 once it comes down in price again.
Yeah.
So let's talk though about something when it comes to game prices, and that is with this new generation, most games are not $60.
Yeah.
Most games are selling for $70, and they're still including things like season passes or
Loot boxes,
microtransactions,
in-game
loot boxes.
marketplaces.
Now, I saw that, right now, NBA 2K for this year started at 70, but now it's been perpetually on sale due to a lot of flack they've gotten.
Mm-hmm.
And rightfully so.
So it's just kind of holding at a markdown.
Yeah, it's kind of holding at a markdown right now. But wow.
Yeah, I'm not with the $70 stuff. Like I got a couple games because it was PlayStation 5 launch and I wanted to play something.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
I forget which game. Was it Miles Morales for 70 because it came with Spider-Man? Or
Actually, that
Demon
one.
Souls. Demon Souls.
Demon
remake.
Souls was 70. Miles Morales, I believe
think
it
it was
was
60.
60. Boy, howdy. I'm gonna have egg on my face on that one.
I don't think it was full
it's-
price.
Yeah, the funny thing is I went to Amazon right now, put in Miles Morales, and it just popped up a golden book. Yes, that is what I'm referring to. The popular golden book. No, Miles Morales is 70.
Yeah.
Miles Morales is 70. So, yeah, games are coming out at 70. Now, Miles
Yes.
Morales on the PS5 comes with Spider-Man Remastered in the
Yeah.
box. It doesn't on the PS4, which is why it's only $50.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, the $70 price point, one, should not be the industry standard.
Absolutely.
I think that, I remember when cartridge prices would sometimes get up to $70 and $80, and that game became a no.
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna buy that game.
Yeah. I I missed out on most of the Super Nintendo generation because of that. Like, I had to rent everything. I couldn't. My parents. I was like a kid, so I couldn't buy it myself. And then my parents were just like, "Oh."
Yeah, and some of the best RPGs on that system were not $50 or less. Yeah, Nintendo's released games tended to be around $40 or $50, but man, good luck. Good luck getting a solid RPG like Final Fantasy VI or Chrono Trigger for anything less than $70. And good luck getting it for anything less than $100, man.
Right. It was crazy, like how much the games were. I had no idea. Like looking back at those old catalogs and stuff and see how much they went for. It was like, oh, man.
It was insane. And unfortunately, we're starting to hit those prices again.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen the changes that justify those prices.
Right.
We're still seeing season passes being sold for $40, $50, $60. We're still seeing loot boxes that charge $5 a minimum to buy in.
Yeah.
And with upwards of $100 loot packs.
Right.
You know, we are not seeing the quality that justifies a $10 price hike on a standard game.
No.
Now, you know, in some cases, you can get the PS5 version included on the PS4. Ubisoft does this a lot. Again,
Yeah.
Immortals and Assassin's Creed. Also, their new Far Cry game, when it finally releases, is going to have a free PS5 upgrade. And that's fine to me, but those also aren't really full PS5 games. There's just sort of enhanced versions of what you're going to get.
They're upscale, you know?
They're upscale
PS4 games.
But, man, I am, you know, of course there's that terrible Cyberpunk 2077, which we aren't going to get into here, but wow, it just dropped to $30 today.
Wow.
And the PS5...
Games by our game.
The PS5 upgrade is still nowhere in sight.
Yeah, it's like a year from... No, not a year. It's January, so...
Yeah, they said it's like 7 months
from now.
At which point I'm like, take a year.
Yeah.
Take your time. Don't...
Please. Delay the game. A whole another year if you need to. Like...
delay more.
This broken garbage.
No, it's bad. So, anyway...
Yeah, it turns out they only really were working on the game for like 3 years.
Yeah, I saw that.
I
saw that recently.
7 or 8.
Yeah, they did an announcement teaser trailer. Yeah, management's terrible. Yeah, so...
Should all resign. The whole management team should resign.
Agreed, as well as some executives.
Yeah. And the executives and some managers should resign.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't release a game like that. Holy crap.
Oh boy, it bad. I almost bought it for $30 just to see how bad it was, but then I was like, that's like 2 meals. That's like 2 2020 meals for myself. Yeah. So no. On that note, again, $70. I will be very hesitant to buy a game at $70. Like, if the new Ratchet & Clank game comes out and it's $70, I'm going to be like, gotta wait for that sale, man.
I'm waiting.
I love Ratchet & Clank. I have loved Ratchet & Clank since Ratchet & Clank 1.
Yeah.
And I've paid full price for those games in the past. I've paid $50. I paid when Ratchet & Clank Remake came out. I paid full price for that.
Yeah.
I'm not willing to pay $70 for a Ratchet & Clank experience unless you tell me that it's the length of like 2 Ratchet & Clank games. And then you kind of run into the risk of, well, is it going to outwell?
At least give the boys 1.5 Ratchet & Clanks.
Nah, man. Ratchet & Clank 1 was $50. You're charging me $70. I expect 2 Ratchet & Clanks. 2 of them.
The game has to be an absolute banger, like once, maybe twice in a generation level, like for me to shell out $70.
We expect at least a Ghost of Tsushima level
Yeah.
of quality there.
Yeah, like.
So
Yeah, I'm not dropping $70 on no game that I know is going to be on sale in a month or two.
yeah, and that's why I think that a show like ours remains important and is all the more relevant moving forward, because we want to make sure that people have fun with what they're paying for, and that they know exactly what its dollar value should be.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about some games where we've said yes, full value, yes, but that's not always the case. I've often said that when they remade the Ghostbusters game from the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, when they remade that game for the modern consoles, it came out at like $40, and I was like, it's not a $40 game. But now it's on sale for like $18 all the time, and I'm like, yes! That's a great price. Plus, it's like a third Ghostbusters movie. Why would you not?
Yeah.
The Namco Museum series on the Switch had, like, they released all their NES games in 2 different volumes for $20 each, and I'm like, nah, 10 NES games for $20? No, thank you. But they've been having them on sale for $10 now, and I'm like, yes!
Yeah,
I will pay $1 for an NES game.
Yeah.
Even the rarer ones, or ones that hadn't been translated before. Yeah, I'll do that. I'm not gonna pay more than $1 for an NES game. Crazy? For the non-arcade versions of these games, where the arcade is clearly superior. No.
Yeah.
So no, we want to make sure that people aren't overspending. It's been our drive for creating this series, and it's going to be our drive moving forward, because we want people to pay the right price for the right game at the right time. And it's important to understand that price front moving forward, because you're not just needing to buy the system, you're not just still needing to buy PlayStation Plus to access online services for anything. Now you're going to be paying $70 for a game, and that's huge. All right, so like, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
The DualSense, the brand new controller for the PlayStation 5.
Got one. I got 2.
I have 2 as well, but the other one's on the charger deck. Yay, we could be controller friends. So, here's the thing about the DualSense 5 that I think is critical. It's a chunky boy.
It's chunk.
It's chunk. Oh Lord, it coming. And I make that comparison because when you sit there and look at the DualSense versus the DualShock for the 4 here, you don't see a whole lot of difference until you turn these things on their sides.
Yeah.
And as you can see, one of these is considerably wider than the other.
Chunky.
And let me tell you something. It took about a solid 2 weeks of use for me to finally get used to the big chungus here.
Yeah.
I mean, now that's the reason it's so chunky is because it does have the adaptive triggers.
Yeah.
And normally you tap it and it feels like a standard trigger. Honestly, when I bust this out of the box, I was like, I can't really tell the difference in the triggers.
No, not at all.
But then when you play a game that's made for it, that's when you go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
A game like Astro's Playroom, which comes for the low price of free and starts downloading.
Super fun.
It's super fun, and it teaches you all the different things the controller can do.
Yeah.
It has motion built in. The touchpad is still just like a big button.
Yeah.
It's like a big button here.
But they can do more with it.
It feels like they could definitely do more with it than hopefully just making it the big map button.
The big button, yeah.
It's the big map button. I need a map in the game. hit the big bat button.
Yeah.
So hopefully more games do more
Burn the
with
mad
it.
button, the mad.
You know, in Astro's Playroom, you guided a ball using it, and you accelerated forward and moved around using the touchpad. It was really sensitive, but really well done.
Yeah.
The buttons I find are all responsive. The triggers feel great. If I have a complaint about any of the buttons themselves, it would actually be the PlayStation Home button itself.
I agree. Yes.
It's a little small, and also because it's the same color as the black of the background itself, it's kind of nondescript. It's hard to spot. I mean, if you're just playing around and you're just kind of like trying to tap for it, sometimes it feels like you reach around for it a little bit.
Yeah.
And additionally, I've accidentally hit the mute button before
Yeah,
because this controller has a built-in microphone.
Right, so it's hard to spot. It's a little too close to the microphone button. And, like, it's cool looking, but when you're just glancing or in the middle of a game or something like that, you just want to use your touch memory, it's not as easy to find as the DS4 or DS3 circle button, right? Which stood out more and you knew you were on it when you touched it. When you're without looking, you knew that's the home button.
Exactly.
This is a little harder this is less distinct. It's harder to know.
It may be shaped like the logo, but because it's flat and in line, it's just kind of like, did I hit the button right or not?
Right.
There have been many times where I've accidentally double tapped that button because I was like, whoops.
Yeah.
So,
you adjust, but it's not intuitive.
yeah. And now, like I said, it has a built-in microphone in this controller. It's terrible. Under no circumstances should you use the built-in microphone for anything online. That would be rude. It's bad. You don't want it. I tried. I accidentally used it once when my headset got unplugged when I was playing Overwatch. My friends were like, "Whoa, what just happened?" It's.
You sound terrible.
Yeah. No, they were like, "Oh, what happened to your microphone?" It's like, no, okay. Yeah, that was one of the features that I turned off. And like I said, initially with both of my controllers, I had a problem with the battery seemingly running out, and that's because these things stay on all the time.
What?
Out of the box. They just stay on, and they eventually shut off. But every time I was playing these, I would charge it up and then come back to the system the next day, and my battery would be dead.
That's wild.
Yeah, as it turns out, there's a way you can go into the system and configure it so that it shuts off automatically after 60 minutes of non-use.
Yeah.
Which is what it
Should
do.
Right.
They also have like 5, 15, and 30 as options, but like
15 is a little excessive.
Yeah, I feel like 5 minutes is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because
anything less than 30 minutes seems excessive.
Yeah. Like I said, it takes a while to get used to because it is so big, and as I may have pointed out before, you can take your finger and your thumb and wrap it around the handle of the DualShock 4. Not so. Not so with the 5. It's close. It's close, and I'm not saying I got tiny hands, but I'm just saying.
I got long fingers. Let me see. Yeah, I got long fingers.
Okay, thank you for shaming. Thank you for shaming me on the internet. But no,
I got them piano man fingers.
Fantastic. But yeah, no, like I said, it took a little while to get used to, but now that I have, it feels fun. It feels comfortable, and it's got these textured grips on the back that are actually microscopic squares, triangles, O's, and X's.
There was an adjustment period is the big takeaway here. I had that experience as well. I definitely felt, if nowhere else, in the dip of my thumb right here.
Yeah, right there.
It felt like 1995 all over again.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are going to get PlayStation Thumb from this. And it's not actually PlayStation Thumb, it's the pad. It's the ligaments right here. Anyway, so there were some other accessories that were released along with the PlayStation 5, namely the 3D Pulse headset.
Yeah.
Now, what makes it 3D exactly, other than the fact that it is in a physical space that occupies mass and has weight and volume?
Yeah, it's like I don't know. Have I played anything that really takes advantage of it? Like maybe what I should do is I should play Senua's Sacrifice again. I've played that since it came out. It was cool.
Okay.
It was $20 game, but it was good. But that was a game that used sound, right?
Okay.
Nothing at launch really uses sound, in a 3D way. Like you hear it, oh, this thing's in front of me, oh, this thing's behind me. But nothing, you know what I mean? Nothing is really using it to its full power.
So the idea is that it doesn't just have surround sound features, like you wouldn't expect it to just, things that are in the distance
Front,
sound
back,
distant.
left, right.
But it actually takes into consideration the position of your head.
Right.
And the way you're looking around.
Your character's pointed. And that kind of thing.
That's a big deal.
So, I will say, I noticed it slightly in, I noticed it to some extent in Miles Morales. When you're in the city, there's a lot of ambient environmental sound.
Yeah.
That's a good place to test it out because there's lots of stuff happening. So that was pretty cool. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I hear it. But there's nothing that's like where the sound is like the experience, right?
Right.
So they invested a lot in their sound tech and then putting out headphones for it. These aren't special magic headphones. You can get any kind of decent, $60 to $100 headphones that will take advantage of it. But
I mean, I get it. This is the headset that I also use on my PlayStation. I just, of course, plug it into the bottom of the controller because it still has the port there.
The port, yeah.
Because why wouldn't I?
Yeah. So it's one of those things where they, it's launched, so you can kind of see some new differences, but no one's taken advantage of it really yet.
Understood.
But over time. So the headset itself is cool. It's not any more special than any other headset in this price range. It's retail for $99, $99.99, $100, right?
Right.
So it's not like I gotta get that one. Just get a decent gaming headset.
Yeah, just make sure that you can be heard loud and clear. Because ultimately, that's what matters the most. Can I hear things loudly and clearly? Can I be heard loudly and clearly?
Right. So yeah, you can voice chat with it. And it's great.
Yeah. One of the worst things, of course, is muffled voice.
Right.
And I've noticed that in past Sony headsets, muffled voice tends to be an issue.
Mm.
Have you encountered any of that with that headset yet?
No. It's been pretty good. I was playing some Ghost of Tsushima with some of our friends. We were communicating great. So.
Okay, excellent.
And it's comfortable. I should point that out because I got the silver headset for PS4 2 years back, and that thing you can't wear it more than an hour.
No, they are not comfortable.
It hurts after like a couple hours of use.
I had the
screaming.
Yeah, I had the gold headsets. Those were always very comfortable. They were always very comfortable. They had great padding around the top and on the ears. Great padding. The sound came through well, but the microphone output was always very muffled. People would tell me how muffled I sound.
Okay.
Whereas when I speak with this microphone, people say that it's just crystal clear.
Yeah, you sound great.
Thank you. Thank you.
But that was a thing because like I don't know, they designed the silver headset to punish you for not buying the gold headset. It was like
they stopped making those eventually, right? Because then they just made golds and platinums.
Yeah, they discontinued the silver. It was trash. I didn't use it. I stopped using it. I tried to for a little bit, and then it was just like, this isn't getting any better.
So now this 3D headset, you said it's $100. That's about the same price point as the gold headset is currently.
Yeah.
And that the Platinum headset, which is still their marquee headset for the PlayStation 4, that's still retailing for about 160.
Yeah. I don't know.
The price point.
It probably works with PS5. You just plug it in though, for the controller.
Sure.
I don't know what the wireless situation will be.
Most headsets seem to work with the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Again, just through the plug port for sure. But I mean, the fact that it's a $100 headset, has some new features, tracks where your head is.
Yeah.
So that's pretty neat. It's got some motion technology in there, so it's not just your standard headset.
But it's nifty.
That is nifty.
Just need somebody to really take advantage of it.
Yeah. Hopefully so. Hopefully soon. One of the things that I actually picked up recently was the media remote,
Nice.
which is a very nice little remote here. Has standard up, down, left, right. The center button works as the X button. Has a PlayStation Home button right there on the bottom.
Nice.
Which is great because you can turn on your system, and once you sync it with your TV, turn on your TV with this remote.
Cool.
Very cool. It has the fast forward, pause functions, menu button, back button. Has a microphone button, so that if you have a microphone attached to the PlayStation 5, for example, if you have the PlayStation 5 camera, you can use that to talk to your PlayStation and ask it to do things. So that's kind of neat. There's some voice command recognition there that we haven't really seen too much of from Sony's side of the camp.
Yeah.
It also has 4 dedicated face buttons to what they fit. I imagine these licensors paid a lot of money to get on this remote.
Yeah.
Because they can't be reprogrammed. They only take you to Disney Plus, Netflix, YouTube, and Spotify.
Yeah.
And I really wish you could reprogram this, because I don't use Spotify. I don't have a Spotify account. I would love it if I could make that HBO Max or Hulu, which are services that I do use on my PlayStation. But oh well, I guess I'll just have to hit the menu button and then the left button a couple of times to get to it.
Yeah.
How inconvenient. For $30, it honestly, it runs on 2 AA's. And it's got one of those fancy AA holders where you don't have to flip one of them. They both face the same direction,
Neat.
which is technology that I feel like we as a society should have adopted way sooner.
Yeah.
But honestly, it works great. Once you sync it up to your system, it'll always work with that system. Same for the TV. I honestly think it feels really comfortable in the hand. And even though it is this round shape, it is so perfectly balanced, it will sit on any flat surface, no problem.
Perfectly balanced.
Perfectly
As all things
balanced,
should be.
as all things should be. It's honestly, it's rather remarkable how much I like a media remote. Which, I know a lot of people sit there and go, another remote? Why would you want that? Well, because it works out really well at the PlayStation. I gotta say, for $30, if you can get one, by all means, get you one.
Right.
The other thing that I have for $30 is the DualSense 2-controller charge port. Now, I have been trying to find one for you for quite some time. I had to drive about 50 minutes away to go get mine from a Target. Which, I mean, it was a fun
hard
drive.
to find. I didn't think that was going to be that hard to find. I didn't pre-order one.
No, they're so ridiculously hard to find because people are buying the controllers and then realizing, oh wait, I don't want to. There's only one charge cable in the box for these controllers, so you can be using one and charging the other. New controllers don't come with an extra cable, which I think is an absolute sin.
Yeah.
Now, Nintendo charges the same amount for their Pro controllers, which is $70, but they include a charge cable in every one of theirs.
Serious.
What's the problem?
Sony cables are like $1, so what's the deal?
It would not be a huge sacrifice on Sony's part. They should do it.
Yeah.
You trying to tell me that they can't afford $1 when they got accelerometers and the triggers? Come on.
Right?
Come on. Don't BS me here.
You know
just throw it in.
You know it.
You know what? You don't even have to put it in the box. Tape it to the box. Just tape it to the box. I'm fine with that. Do it like they used to do with cereal promotions back in the day.
Right.
Just tape it to the box. So no, it's super convenient. I like it, and the thing has a very satisfying click when you place the controllers in them.
Yeah.
That lets you know that it's in place and charging properly. And because it kind of rests in there, you can wiggle it around a bit. They're not going to fall out of the charging mode.
Right.
Do I recommend it? Yeah, I do. It's really convenient. And it plugs into the wall, so it doesn't use any of the USB ports on your system.
Yeah.
And for those of us who need things like storage solutions for our PlayStation 5s, that's really convenient. It's a good thing to have. So if you can get one, by all means, yes. But hey, I'll keep trying to look for you, man.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I check like once a week to see if they're available, and it's like.
But much like getting the system, I have my Target app on notifications whenever they get it in, and it goes off 3 times a day, and I am always about 10 seconds too slow.
Jesus.
I got it into the cart once. That's it. But, you know, accessories aside, I think we need to talk about some videos game.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the big game for the PS5.
And that is...
I mean, oh, really? Are we going to diss Miles Morales like that?
No, I was wanting to make sure we were on the same page.
Oh, no. I was say, really?
Oh, shots fired.
It's not Demon Souls, the remake. I'm sure that was the case for some people. It's not for at least this person.
Not for me.
Now, what's funny is that this was a PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 game. I primarily played it all the way to completion 100% on the PlayStation 4. You played it on the PlayStation 5.
Right, because I was able to snag what I wanted.
And I feel like we should talk about those experiences.
Yeah.
I, of course, initially paid $50 for a digital copy. And you bought the game brand new.
Yeah.
Did you buy it disc or digital?
Digital.
Okay, so you bought it for the full set.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about bugs real quick, because I think this is where you and I had the most differences with the game.
Yeah.
The game crashed on me on the PlayStation 4 once. And I encountered the glitch where you see Miles' head, but the rest of his body hasn't loaded in. I encountered that once.
I never had that happen. I never had any replacement jutsu bugs.
Oh, yeah. The like spider lamp?
Yeah.
None of that?
No.
So
spider
I didn't...
table, spider building.
The Spider-Man one? Where the model got swaps out with the Peter Parker's model by accident?
Oh, no.
But his jaw is like slumped in. So yeah.
Wow, I missed that.
Yeah, no. So it is interesting that a lot of people encounter a lot of bugs, but I didn't encounter so many on the PS4. And from what I've seen, a lot of other people playing the PlayStation 4 version don't encounter a whole lot of bugs.
Yeah.
Almost like the game was built for the PlayStation 4. And then ported to the PlayStation 5.
You wouldn't dare suggest.
I mean, I'm not trying to say anything, but because you were telling me that the game was like Launchpad McQuack on the PS5.
Unstable. Oh my god. Like, man, like I turned it on and you get through the intro cutscene, and like right when it's supposed to transition from him swinging and off out of the cutscene across that billboard,
yeah,
and then you take control, it crashed. And then when I rebooted the game, which by the grace of God on PS5 is fast as hell, I'm just in the mission, it's gameplay. I don't get to see that cutscene again because it's over. Like, as far as the game is concerned, that cutscene is done. And we're playing the game now, so I'm just... Oh, okay, I guess. So that was supposed to transition directly into gameplay, and it wet itself. Right? So that was a bug. And then there's a bug that's come up at least twice when I played it, where a cutscene is happening and the music cuts out. The last time I played it, New Game Plus, when they're doing the montage when him and his friend are designing his suit, that was the music cut out. So it's just a quiet montage. Really awkward and uncomfortable. And then it didn't happen the first time I played. The second time on New Game Plus, the audio cut out. But the first time I played, when I beat the game, and him and Peter Parker are swinging through the city and then towards the screen, and the credits roll, the music cut out too. So they're just swinging and being cool, and I'm like, it's really quiet.
I was gonna say, does that mean that you missed out on Jaden Smith's amazing end credits theme song?
I did. I'm mad.
I would be too.
So like, so there's weird bugs where the music cuts out, and I reported them, but and then plenty of freezes and crashes where there's this one enemy camp raid where you go bust a bunch of undergrounders, and it kept freezing. I had already beaten the mission, but I was coming back to 100% it, and it kept freezing in the middle of it, and it kept freezing. Whether I was stealth or fighting, it was freezing, and it started freezing faster and faster and faster into the mission.
Oh no.
And then I just had to turn the game off. I was like, well, I guess I'll just, get ready for bed. and then it's like Metal Gear Solid 2, where it's like, haven't you been playing for a long time? Turn the game console off. You really have been playing for a long time now. Like, So the game was just like, no. And I could go fuck off any other direction and start swinging through the city and doing whatever, but that mission kept freezing. So then I just turned the game off and came back the next day, and I was able to play it no problem. So I don't know why. I report all the bugs that were happening, because they were fixing them. They were hotfixing all kinds of stuff. But those first couple of weeks were rough. Rough around the edges.
Meanwhile, my first couple of weeks were pretty great.
I took the beach.
I like I said, one crash, one bug where I see Miles' head, and that's about all I experienced. It was great.
Right. And the experience on PS5 is saved a great deal by how fast the system is.
Yeah.
By how fast you can get back into the game, how fast everything loads. That will, it makes what otherwise would be really nerve-wracking experience, just a minor annoyance.
Yeah.
So that helped. But
I will say,
otherwise it was like,
yeah, I will say, if you like those animations on the trains for either Miles or Peter Parker, man, you're gonna miss out on those if you're playing the PlayStation 5. I feel bad for the animators and riggers that worked on that, because man, it's like
made you obsolete.
Stuff's gone.
Yeah, you can actually turn it back on. You have to go in the menu and turn subway rides on.
Okay.
Yeah, because by
good.
default it's just fade down, fade up.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's impressive. That's really cool. I'm not gonna front holy shit, you can actually fast travel. It's not just a euphemism for a loading screen.
No, it's near instantaneous. It's very impressive.
Yeah.
So, that aside, let's talk the gameplay. Let's talk the gameplay of Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Have you played a game called Spider-Man, released in 2018?
Spider-Man, I am familiar.
Well, if you're familiar with Spider-Man 2018, you might be familiar with how this game plays, but it plays better
Oh, I'm
The-
listening.
The fighting feel, despite the fact that Miles' animations are that of a novice superhero,
Yeah.
particularly in his takedowns where he looks like he's about to fall over off of a beam while webbing somebody up. And his dodges and punches are not nearly as smooth or clean as Peter Parker's.
Right.
The combat feels much smoother. It feels more satisfying. Every punch has a little more weight. It just feels good. And it doesn't feel like, swarms upon swarms of enemies are just going to flood the screen and you're like, oh, I have to take all these out.
Right.
And thanks, guys in suits.
Yeah.
You got the similar to that game. The variety of enemies are not too different. You have unarmed thugs, you have thugs with guns, you have thugs with shields, swords, whip things, because whips.
Yeah, I feel like being, because of his bioelectricity, I feel like I'm being more resourceful or creative with the combat in terms of problem solving. In Spider-Man PS4, I guess I could level the critique that even with all his gadgets, you still just gotta punch the shit out of everybody.
Yeah.
And the stronger they get, you just gotta punch them. Just punch them.
Yeah,
Keep
just
punching them, and it's like
beat the shit out of everybody.
Yeah.
And even if you had 10 different gadgets, you still didn't feel. You ended up only using a couple of them.
Yeah, and you can play Miles Morales that way, but his powers at his disposal make it so way more manageable and way more inventive in terms of dispatching enemies, because you don't have to. You can wear them down with all of the other different skills he has, and as opposed to just punch. Because all of Peter's gadgets, well, not all, but most of them were web-based or stun-based, and they didn't really do damage. So
Miles has some damaging stuff.
Yeah.
And like you said, the bioelectricity powers, you feel them. Everything hits harder. Everything feels better.
I wish they used the haptic feedback more with that bioelectricity. They could have done more with the haptic feedback in this game.
I agree. It's mostly used when you're web swinging, and that's about it.
And barely.
And barely that.
And I made sure it was turned all the way up, and it was you feel it. You feel it a little bit. They could have put some real resistance on that. Just a bit more.
They could have, they should have, but they didn't.
Yeah.
That said, the story is amazing. Yeah, the story is really well told.
Should at least have a slider with a haptic feedback on the triggers. Because I know in Devil May Cry 5 you can turn it on and off. With Nero's Red Queen, he revs up the heat on his sword.
Yeah.
You can put haptics on that or turn it off.
That's cool as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love it.
But it's cool.
I would also have loved it if maybe instead of just having webs on those buttons, there was something a little more combat oriented to really help you feel it. Because again, square button's punch button.
Yeah.
L1 plus square or L1 plus X or L1 plus triangle initiates a bioelectric attack, which I used as jumping attack, which made enemies hover in the air for a second. So often. I like the fact that you can combine different powers from suits and goggles.
Yeah.
I like that. I think that allows you to kind of create your own Miles Morales. That said, combine the ability where with every hit that someone is electrified, you get health back. Combine that with every 5th or 6th hit makes someone electric, you'll never die.
Yeah.
You'll never die.
I'm a golden god.
I mean, you can still die. I mean,
but
Miles is just as fragile as Peter is.
Yeah, if you're not asleep at the wheel.
Yeah. But
it's interesting how they balanced it, because he actually has less health than Peter. And he has less gadgets, but his bioelectric moves are hella strong.
Oh yeah, one hit knockout strong. Yeah. So it works.
The bioelectric takedowns are so cool.
Yeah, The story is phenomenal. I think that the story has some incredible beats to it that are beyond compare. Truly wonderful.
Yeah, it's like they did almost as much in an 8-hour game as they did with the 20-hour Spider-Man game.
Yeah, and I feel like some parts of this story hit more, and I feel like other parts may have hit a little less.
Yeah.
The Taskmaster reveal was like, it was like, okay.
It was like, oh no.
But the scene on the bridge and the aftermath shortly thereafter.
That was really
good. That
hit.
That hit. I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Clearly, there were some folks that on the team that paid attention to what was going on in 2020, and they made sure that these experiences were related in their game.
Yeah, so. Shout out to Insomniac. And if I had to nitpick the story, or not nitpick, but just my one complaint would be that I wanted more of it. Like, I don't usually give games crap for being short, but I would have liked to have it just like another 1 or 2 story missions before the climax in the end game.
You know,
that would have given it just the right weight.
I'm torn because I know that it only takes place over a few days.
Yeah.
That said, how does his mom's election work in January?
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't understand that part. I guess.
Like his mom's running for office. Also, it's Christmas.
And then she wins in January.
Okay.
Like, if this took place, like, it starts out at Thanksgiving, and then it ends around New Year's, I'd be like, okay, this makes more sense to me, but okay.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that if they had added in, like, one more villain, because the only 2 major villain boss fights you get in this game are the Rhino, who is reused from Spider-Man, and Taskmaster.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's it.
But then again, and correct me if I'm wrong, Miles Morales isn't known for his extensive pool of villains.
Oh, yeah, his rogue gallery. No.
Yeah. he doesn't have a whole lot of rogues to call his own. And I don't think what they did with Taskmaster is amazing for that either.
Yeah, I don't know if she should have been Taskmaster. I don't think she ever... How often was she even referred to as Taskmaster? Did she even call herself Taskmaster? Like,
I think she called herself that once.
Like, I don't even remember in story like when that was even relevant.
Yeah. Like, I remember Miles called the villain that a lot, but that was about it. Again, yeah. I wish that there was...
just made her a new villain.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like
no, not Taskmaster, the Tinkerer.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right.
Taskmaster.
Oh my god, I said Taskmaster. You got the skull face.
Skull face and the shield.
Oh, I feel bad now. Yeah. It's because I was playing a Taskmaster mission earlier on the remake. No, you're right. Tinkerer. I mean, Tinkerer is just kind of a meh character to me anyway.
Right.
I'm sure there's some diehard comic fan that's going to be like, how dare you besmirch the Tinkerer first by referring to it as Taskmaster, and then not caring about the Tinkerer.
Very Patton Oswalt, Parks and Rec energy.
Yes, exactly. Which spoiler alert, no one gives a fuck about the Tinkerer.
Yeah.
Least of all me. So...
yeah, I wouldn't even given her a code name or anything. Like, she didn't really need one.
No, but I guess.
Like, if you wanted to bring the actual Tinkerer in at some point, you can do that, but...
Yeah. This game, overall, feels like it was going to be a very expensive add-on.
Yeah, this is going to be an expansion pack.
Like, it feels like that because it's the exact same map, almost the exact same assets, only they added some snow.
Yeah, snow, ray tracing.
the ray tracing on
like
the PlayStation 5
they moved the slider up on the graphics settings. You know,
Yeah.
that's kind of it, because like that's what a lot of the PS4 to PS5 games are basically doing, is just, or Xbox and Xbox One, all the next gen stuff, like new gen, sorry, where it's like, this kind of looks like a slightly better PS4 game, right?
Yeah.
It's the same fundamental architecture or fundamental coding language.
Yeah.
They're just taking that and just moving the settings up a bit. Here's some ray tracing for you. Here's 60 frames per second for you. You know, here's some slightly higher res textures, maybe. Yeah.
Sometimes you can have both at the same time.
Right. So that's kind of the launch experience right now.
So the question is Miles Morales Spider-Man a $50/$70 full price game?
Nah.
All right. What's your price call on it?
The $70 version comes with Spider-Man PS4 remastered, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Altogether, it should be, I want to say 50 for both.
Okay.
For PS5.
Okay.
And 40 for both on PS4. I think that's fair.
Well, the PS4 version doesn't even come with Spider-Man, so
Right.
You just get Miles Morales. Is Miles Morales a solid $50 game? You know, the more I've thought about it, I think initially I would have said, yeah, this is really good. This is really awesome. Now that time has come in, I think I can more safely say Miles Morales is a solid $40 game. It would be an amazing $40 game on the PlayStation 4, kind of its swan song. Heading out, look at this amazing experience that you can play.
Yeah.
But then, you know, $70 on the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Wait for a sale. Yeah, you get 2 games for that, but
One you probably already played.
It's one you've probably already played, and one is significantly longer than the other.
I think that was the best-selling PS4 game.
I think so, yeah. Spider-Man 2018 got people to buy PlayStation 4s.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't think that it's a full-price game, but it's really good.
Yeah.
It is a really fun experience, and of course, if you like Spider-Man, then you're gonna like this follow-up.
Yeah.
So, $40 on PlayStation 4, $50 on PlayStation 5.
Yeah. Follow.
All right. I think
So
that
the other must-have PlayStation 5 game for launch.
is Astro's Playroom,
Yes, sir.
because it's for the
Astro's
low
Playroom,
price
baby.
of $3.99.
An absolute banger.
Yeah, no, Astro's Playroom is great.
As soon as you connect your PlayStation 5, it downloads.
Yeah, the fact that it's not mentioned on the box that, oh, by the way, you get a free game is kind of weird.
Yeah. But they wanted to be, like, slick about it.
Yeah, it's like
Like-
like,
Like, look. We're just gonna give them this game for free. We're not even gonna tell them though. I just like waiting for you, like on Christmas when you didn't think you were getting that present. Your mom's just sitting in the corner, like, yeah, I got you. Yeah,
look
free game.
behind the couch.
Right. What's that over there?
It's the Red Ryder BB gun of video games,
Oh,
because it
actually-
comes out of nowhere, and it'll shoot your eye out with visual surprise.
So Astros is so dope because it like really uses haptic feedback. It uses all the controller's features.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
not just the haptic feedback. It uses the touchpad. It uses the 6-axis motion controls. It takes full advantage of the DualSense in a way that makes you mad at the other games that you're playing.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
they're not.
Yeah, I've noticed that even PS5 enhanced games don't really use
Nobody's
Any
using
of
it
it.
like this game. Like,
so.
it's so good. I'm like playing all the little mini games and the functions and whatever, and I'm like, this is awesome. This is so cool. And the resistance and the triggers when you're doing like the rocket ship and stuff, like when you're pulling down on the blast off engines and like, and then the rocket takes off, like you can feel the resistance vibrating in the triggers. So cool.
It's so good.
All kinds of little other stuff I don't have time to get into right now, but like they really throw it home. And I'm like, please, other games do stuff like this.
Yeah.
And no one else is really doing it like that.
Yeah, and let's be honest, it is a showcase for the control.
Absolutely.
Like,
I love it.
It's there to show you how to use it, but it also happens to be really well done.
Yeah.
It goes through 4 different levels, and then a final boss level that you unlock once you go through those 4 levels. Each one showcasing sort of a feature of the controller.
Yeah.
One of them showcases the touchpad. A couple of them showcase the triggers. One, you mentioned the rocket one. There's another one where you play as a giant monkey, and you not only have to grip down hard sometimes, but you have to do a light grip, which involves you only partially touching that. It's amazing. It's well done, and of course, it's a platformer. It's a simple platformer. You can platinum this game in a few hours. It's not too hard.
It's worth platinum.
It's worth doing. Yeah, everybody loves platinum. Why wouldn't you? But the thing is, and this is killer to me, it is a love letter to all things Sony. The collectibles are all like console related to the Sony PlayStation 1.
Yeah. The
PlayStation 2, the PlayStation Portable, the Vita, which I was like, oh, they mentioned you. The PlayStation 3, the 4, and then ultimately stuff for the PlayStation 5. And they're little Astrobot characters that are reenacting properties that are clearly not Sony properties. The ones that stuck out to me the most were the Death Stranding Astrobot in the first level. The Castlevania Symphony in the Night Astrobot dressed up like Alucard in the jungle level. And then in the space level, there was a Dante Astrobot. And I'm like, did they make these things just different enough so that they wouldn't have to ask permission for all these different properties? Or did they actually like reach out to all these companies to ask permission? Because I didn't see any copyright info at the end during the credits, so I don't know. But it's a love letter to all things Sony. Almost to the point of masturbation, I feel. Like, the cynic in me was like, God, please stop. But the nostalgic fan in me was like, this is fine.
Midnight. I mean, it's charming as hell. It helps that the game is charming as hell and doesn't take itself too seriously or anything. Like, it's all ages and just lighthearted fun, so... all this stuff is like a wink and a nod and that kind of thing.
I want a full Astrobot game. Yeah. And the only other one that exists is the one that's the VR one on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, so...
And I'm not getting that anytime soon.
I have the VR because I got it on a crazy good deal, but...
Lucky
the VR game. Because the list price is like, no thank you.
Yeah.
But when it was on sale, I was like, let me get it.
Yeah. That again,
and I'm
want there to
be the Astros VR game. Like, this is really good. What?
How wild? How new? So yeah, Astro's Playroom is free, and it's a fun game. And then when you're done, you can delete it from your PlayStation 5, but you won't want to because it's so cute and it's so fun.
But dang, you need to stay.
Like, you know what? I feel like if I'm deleting you, I'm deleting a part of the PlayStation itself, because you go into the PlayStation 5 itself when you play the game. So I almost feel like deleting it would make the system run less well.
He said me is missing.
So I would say that Astro's Playroom is a full-price game. What would you say?
The full price of $3.99.
Well, I mean, assuming that you have the internet. to connect your system up in the first place. Otherwise, you have a pretty brick. Because it can't do anything out of the box.
Right. I mean, you can play your PlayStation 5, but you're getting 1.0 versions of everything.
You have to set everything up. It requires the internet.
Does it?
Yes.
Just to play?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, its initial setup requires the internet.
Son of a bitch.
Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't know because I have internet. And
Yeah, I know,
plug it in right away anyhow. But I was under the impression I heard from somebody else.
Yeah, I was reading some situations where people were like, "I can't just play it," and people were like, "You gotta set it up first."
Right.
Like, but I don't have the internet.
I didn't know that. That's too bad. That's a
Yeah.
shame. Like that shouldn't. I don't think that should ever be a thing. Ever.
No.
You should always be able to just play a game console offline.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. So.
Whether it's the first time you turn it on or the 101st time.
I agree. You should be able to play your game.
Yeah.
So,
That's like, oh, you don't have internet connection? Okay, we'll just play what we got.
that'd be nice, right?
We'll just play things as is for now. But you should get your internet connection at some point.
Yeah. They really
Until
should.
then, enjoy what you got.
Yeah. So, yeah, Miles Morales was the big game, but honestly, the clear winner was Astro's Playroom. As weird as that is.
Yeah, so I think on launch I got Spider-Man and Devil May Cry. And it's Devil May Cry 5, so yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, and I picked up Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Immortals Phoenix Rising, both of which are cool. They're fun, but Immortals is more fun than Assassin's Creed. It's the truth of the matter.
So there you go. I will say for Devil May Cry, just real quick, Virgil is fun as hell. If you haven't played it yet, he's so fun because he's OP as hell. He has so many tools at his disposal. It's embarrassing. So, and then they give you like 300,000 orbs. No, not 300. Maybe like 100,000 orbs off the top, so you can unlock a bunch of moves really fast.
Ah, lovely.
So you don't have to grind at first, and it is great. So you can just go to town, right away. Mission 1.
That sounds good.
And he's got the best theme music, so it's awesome.
Oh, well then, yeah. How can you not enjoy that? Well, my friend, I would say that we've looked at a lot of material today.
Yeah, we laughed, we learned.
I think we grew as people and as friends. And the real treasure was the friends we made along the way.
That's right.
And all the money that we saved.
Yeah.
As one of my favorite characters said in a cartoon from not that long ago, family isn't the only treasure. Treasure is the only treasure. But yeah, I enjoyed coming back to do this with you. We should do this more often.
Yes.
And clearly we need to, because games ain't getting any cheaper.
Yeah. All right. So I guess that wraps it up for us, guys, for another episode. First of 2020, hopefully not the last. We're going to keep at it. And Zenny Saved signing off. Play hard.
And save your Zenny.
Peace.